everybody, it's Sam Jacobs. Happy Friday. We are here for Friday Fundamentals, as you know. It's that brief little snippet of insight that we get from this week's guest, where we ask them one question, we get one answer. It's a packed full, I don't know what I'm saying, but it's a little snippet. It's a condensed container of information. That's what I'm going for here. At any rate, that's not the important thing. The important thing is that we've got our this week's guest, Vikas Bambry, and Vikas is SVP of Sales and Customer Experience. Is that the correct title, Vikas?
That is perfect.
Awesome. At Customer with a K, and he was this week's guest talking about both his career, starting initially as a developer, then becoming a sales engineer, and then ultimately becoming, running a bunch of different teams at Customer, which is a really fast-growing technology company, SaaS company here in New York. Now, before we're going to ask him today about what are the top three things a sales engineer needs to be good at. But before we do that, we want to thank our sponsor. So Friday Fundamentals is brought to you by Outreach. Outreach triples the productivity of sales teams and empowers them to drive predictable and measurable revenue growth. By prioritizing the right activities and scaling customer engagement with intelligent automation, Outreach makes customer-facing teams more effective and improves visibility into what really drives results. So Vikas, welcome back to the show. We want to ask you that question because you have that background. You started off as an SE, as a sales engineer, and you also have a technical background because you're originally a developer. So you are the perfect person to answer this question, which is, what are the top three things a sales engineer needs to be good at?
Yeah, and still an engineer to this heart, to heart, and always will be. So, number one, for me as a sales engineer is the demonstration. Now, I'm not, talking about, kind of just the whole, show up and throw up demo, but really the art of the demo in making sure that people understand what your technology does, but more importantly, what is the value that it's going to drive to their business? And the one tip that I'll give to every young sales engineer out there is less is more. Less clicks and more of that story about what it does and what benefit it's going to drive for that person's particular business. So number one is the demo. Number two is presentation, is being able to stand in front of an audience, engage them, articulate what you're there, what are you there to talk about? What have you showed them? What is the business impact it's going to have? And, what are you going to move forward in terms of the technical evaluation? So I think, number one is the demo. Number two is presenting. And number three, and I think most importantly, is being that trusted advisor to your account executive. Be comfortable pushing back on your account executive when appropriate, working with them in harmony as to how you're navigating the deal, the different people that you're engaging in that particular opportunity, how are you moving the ball forward, and then ultimately, how are you partnering on making sure that you're constructing the right solution down to the individual SKUs that this particular customer might need or the statement of work to help them go implement. So those are the three things that I would recommend to anybody who wants to be a good sales engineer: is the demo, presentation, and ultimately being the trusted advisor to the account executive.
Any particular piece of advice on how to build that trusted relationship with your account executive? Anything you've done in the past that you can impart to the folks that are listening?
Yeah, to me, one of the things I brought to the table, as a sales engineer that I thought, every account executive that I ever worked with was extremely appreciative of, was my preparation and attention to detail in terms of, co-presenting with them, making sure I had my script finely tuned. They knew exactly what my click-throughs were going to be if I was demonstrating product, etc. And then note-taking and follow-up. So, one of the things as a team is there are times an AE is speaking to the customer or engaging the customer, and the customer is talking to them. And, if you're the account executive, you don't want to be looking down and start typing into your keyboard or handwriting notes. So are you, hey, I'm in SE land, I'm now going to configure my demo tomorrow, or am I sitting there taking notes, creating follow-up action items? And vice versa. Is my AE doing the same when I'm presenting and maybe handling a technical question or a follow-up, et cetera? So that to me is something that, is preparation, and then actually being engaged in the meeting and, like I said, playing that, teammate and taking notes, follow-ups, etc.
I love it. Awesome. So playing it back to everybody out there, you got to be great at the demo. You got to be great as a presenter and during the presentation. And you've got to build a trusted advisor relationship with your account executive. And one of the ways that you can do that is through preparation, attention to detail, and making sure that in the context of the meeting, you're supporting your account executive, you're taking notes, and that you both are on the same page so that it feels like one coherent, combined team approaching this problem on behalf of whatever customer you're talking to. Did I get that right, Vikas?
Said it perfectly.
Perfect. Vikas, if folks want to reach out to you, remind us your preferred mechanism for outreach.
Absolutely. Please feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. Just drop me a line or two. I'm probably the only Vikas Bambry in New York. So drop me a line or two as to who you are and why you want to connect, and be happy to take the conversation forward.
Awesome. Vikas, thanks so much for being on the show. If folks want to reach out to me, it's linkedin.com/in and then /Sam F. Jacobs. Thanks to our sponsor, Outreach, and we will talk to you next time.